What's up guys, it's Lee and Sam here from Ugly Sofa Gaming. Today is another episode of Tutorials Played Badly. Today we are diving into the world of motion controllers. We have recently purchased two, not brand spanking new, but two used PlayStation Move controllers because they're still very expensive. And we're going to be having a look at how these things control, because when you have them, it is weird to use for the first time. So, Sam has the controllers, take it away.
Look at you with your fancy motion controllers.
Oh, stop.
Looks like you're ready to start wielding them like a first-class Dreamshaper. In this tutorial, you'll master the basic controls you learned in the home space. But this time, you'll have the full freedom of edit mode. Use the video player to play through the tutorial steps. Follow the steps carefully. It's not just about getting to the end.
So what we have heard is that you don't need the motion controllers to create stuff in Dreams. You can do it all with the DualShock, the PlayStation controller. What I have heard generally is sculpting is a lot easier with the controllers. So we're going to test that out as well at some point, and we'll let you know.
I've hidden a puppet, which we'll need in later tutorials. I've left some clues to help you find it. But before we search for the first clue, let's remind ourselves how to move around using motion controllers. You should be able to see two imps on the screen, tracking the movement of your motion controllers. If you can't see them, just make sure that you're in front of your PlayStation camera, then hold down the start button on either motion controller until the imps reappear. You can do this at any time to recalibrate your imps if they feel too close, too far away, or off-center. The primary imp is the one with a face. You control this imp with your dominant hand. You can set your handedness in your preferences, which you can find in the options menu.
That's useful for you, you're a lefty.
I am a lefty, but that feels like a massive faff. Like, could I not just use my right hand?
Secondary imp holds the assembly menu.
Just switch hands.
No, that won't
Bring
work.
it up by holding down the T button on your secondary controller. That's the one underneath that looks like a trigger. Try it now.
This is where you can't just switch
You
the
won't need it
menus
just
laid
yet,
out.
so go ahead and release the T button to hide it again. Your imps are used to move around the scene in 3D space. Using either controller, press and hold the move button and just twist and tilt the controller a little bit. We call this using the grab cam.
Okay, so the grab cam is the
space
central button.
important, as that's the point your view will rotate around. Now
So
try
with either
grabbing
button.
with either move button
Put in.
and looking around you.
Okay, yes, it's with either controller you can do that.
Okay, let's
Interesting.
turn back towards the shapes floating on the
Oh.
island.
Grab that object though. So far.
Reach out with your imp, then hold the move button on that controller to grab that point in space.
Grab an
Then,
air.
while you hold the move button, pull that
Eesh.
controller back towards you to pull yourself forward in the scene. You can do this with either controller, so you can alternate them to pull yourself along. Use the move buttons to grab cam towards those two shapes on that cloud, then push yourself back away from them.
Oh, I'm upside down. Oh no, I
You
feel
can
sick.
even move from side to side in a similar way.
That was good. How did you do that?
I don't know. I think it's
Careful
both
not to
move
press both
buttons.
move buttons
Oh,
at the
that's
same
what you did.
time. That triggers another function, which I'll
Oh, well, it was
explain
useful.
in a moment.
Press it again, both at the same time.
If you do it
And
by
again.
mistake, don't worry. Just use your
Hang on.
primary X button to press the red button that appears by your secondary imp. When you're comfortable with
Okay.
moving and looking around with the grab cam, you're ready to move on to the next step.
I don't know about
Press
comfortable.
the arrow button on the video to continue. My first clue is hidden somewhere on this island. We should probably look around these objects and see if we can find it.
Maybe
To
we can
do
use the
that,
turny
we
thing
first
now.
need to set our imp reach. Remember I told you not to press both move buttons at the same time in the last step? Well,
Yeah, now
now's
he
the
wants
time
us to
do
press
just
both
that.
buttons.
Hold your imps so that their tips are either side of the shapes on the cloud.
Either side of the
Then
shapes.
tap both move buttons at once. Don't hold them down this time. You'll see a circle with a number in it for a moment. That means your imp reach has changed. You'll notice that very little else will change, but now your imps can easily reach the shapes on the cloud, as if they're at arm's length. That's why we call this maneuver changing your imp reach. Now that you can reach further in the scene, you can easily move around the shapes.
I'm
Just grab Cam
topsy-turvy.
onto the shapes
I'm
and
struggling.
rotate your point of view around them.
Grab Cam onto one of the
The
shapes.
point in space where you grab is the point you'll rotate around. So remember to wiggle the imp when you grab Cam to check its position. Try that now and look for the clue. Once
You're
you've
actually
found
grabbing
it,
the shape.
move on to the next step.
I'm grabbing the air next to the shape.
I think, remember, you have to put your controller forward.
Can't physically reach the shape. Then he did tell me to change my imp reach, and that was tapping both of these, and then
There you go.
now I've got to exit off that. Okay, find the clue. Found it.
Did you find that clue? It was on the back of one of those shapes. Looks a bit like a rocket. I do love a cryptic message. Why don't you look around with the grab cam for any rocket-related goings-on?
Over
Don't
there.
forget to twist and tilt your view a little each time you grab. Ah, look over there, on that island in the distance. Those shapes look a lot like the ones in the clue. That's
Up.
a long way away. Try changing your imp reach to get us there more easily. Hold
Okay.
your imp's tips either side of the target, then tap both move buttons. Now use your extended reach to grab that island and pull yourself over to it. Simple.
Oh wow, so you can set it
Now
based
that you're
on what you're
next to
actually
it,
trying to hit.
you'll need
It's
to
clever.
adjust your imp
Yeah.
reach again so you can interact with these objects more easily. With your imps on either side of an object, tap both move buttons. If there isn't an object where you need one, just
Oh.
find something at a similar distance
Oh, I
and set
pooped
your
it.
Mm.
imp reach using that.
Just set your imp reach on the blue
If you get in
cone.
a kerfuffle, just select the one-to-one imp reach button near the secondary imp, using X on the primary controller. This will reset your imp reach back to the default scale.
This all seems probably really confusing, and believe me, I'm
Changing
confused
the
as well,
imp reach
and
is a
unnerved,
powerful technique
and
for
worried,
navigating scenes.
and distressed.
In
But
fact, it's
I get
so
the feeling this
powerful,
is just one of
you
those
can
things
easily
you have to get
lost
used
in the
to.
scene if you accidentally set your imp reach
Yeah.
too high.
It's probably very hard to explain it, and this
If you
guy's
do
giving
get
it
lost,
his
just
A1
hover
best,
over the
but
mode icon in the
I think
corner
it's
of
just
the
a matter of
screen.
doing it and getting used to it and getting
In
comfortable with
assembly
it.
mode, the icon is a puzzle
Which
piece.
I am not.
Here you'll find a camera bookmark that'll take you back to where you started in the scene.
I want to go over
Select
there.
it with X,
This
and you'll
was
be
hard.
back in familiar territory. And remember, you can recalibrate your imps at any time. Just press and hold either start button for a couple of seconds. Once you reach the island, make sure you're looking directly at the cylinder and the cone at a sensible distance. When you're ready, move on to the next step.
Alright, I'm trying to look at it at a sensible distance. How do I back away? I'm pushing the move controller away from me. Get the island to back off. I need to straighten up. Oh, this is hard. Okay. Move the rocket.
Think back to the first clue. The cone was on top of the cylinder, right? But how can you move them? Well, in edit mode, you interact with everything using your primary imp, the very tip of your imp's pointy part. See how there's an icon in a circle there? That shows you what tool the imp is using. Right now, it's the arrows icon, which means the imp is using the move tool. That's the default tool in edit mode, because editing a scene means moving things around a lot.
Makes sense.
Let's see the primary imp in action. First, grab the cone. Hover over it with your imp, then press and hold the primary T button. That's the trigger button underneath the controller. Now your imp has grabbed it, simply move the cone by moving the controller.
You like straighten out the camera. Do you know how?
Try to put it on top of the cylinder, just like in the clue. It's important to remember that grabbing the T button is different to using the grab button. When you're using the T button, you can grab anything, no matter how far away you are, as long as the tip of your imp is hovering over it. You don't have to be able to physically reach it with your imp the way you do with the grab
like
cam.
to zoom out.
Get it roughly into place, and I'll show you how to refine it later. If the video player gets in your way, grab and move it with your imp using the primary T button. Or you can minimize the video and play along with audio only. Or you can maximize it to watch it in instructions view if you prefer. In instructions view, you can see more information about the steps.
That's new. Or is it?
Once you're done, you're ready for the next step.
I don't know. I think he told us that before, or we weren't listening before.
Now, that looks pretty good, at least from this angle. Creating scenes in three-dimensional space means that you should always look at your creations from different angles. The easiest way to do that is with the grab cam. Just like before, grab with either move button and rotate your point of view. Try it out on the cone. Don't forget to set your imp reach.
Okay, so
place the imp on a point in 3D space that you want to rotate around, then press and hold the move button on that controller. Now rotate the controller to move your point of view around the cone.
You have to twist it.
Your wrist will only bend so far, so let go of the move button and grab and turn again if you need to.
Oh, so you full on like twisting the controller around?
Check that the cone is on straight.
You have to press the button and then
like mine.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Press the button and go like this. Literally go like that. Like
That'll just turn it upside down. Whoop. Didn't like that.
Calibrate your imps if you need to.
Okay, so bloop.
Controls at any time.
I reach.
Select the mode icon in the corner of the screen. This menu shows you the mode you're in, the tool you're using, and a list of controls. Select the button again to hide the controls. Here's a little secret called nudge. If you don't press T all the way down,
get rid of that.
Just hold it lightly, you can move the cone slowly, giving you finer control.
Hold it.
Once you're happy the cone is straight, you
can
bring
it towards us a little bit.
Step.
Press triangle to realign. Good.
Looks good from here, but is it?
So try and do the thing again. Get your right ratio, whatever
reach.
it is. Reach.
Okay, and then we'll twist around. Oh, yeah, looks good. Looks good.
Oh.
I love it.
You are really struggling.
Okay, it's way off.
Is it?
Yeah, it's like way too far forward.
You need to zoom out to get some perspective.
How do I zoom out? Go away, Rocket.
That's it, you did it. So it's from that position. Now do your reach.
Okay.
On the triangle. Do it on the triangle, because that's what we want to see.
Bloop. Okay. And grab it. Spin it. Yeah, the cone's too far forward, so I need to nudge it back a bit. So
yeah, half hold the trigger.
Half hold and just a little tap it back. No, that was too far to the left.
I know I probably wouldn't be able to do any better at this point, but my whole like body is like screaming out to take the controllers off you and just be like,
you couldn't do it.
It's
It's harder than.
you're just gonna go like this, and I just wave my hands.
Okay, so it's perfect.
Hey, look
Can't
at
get any
that.
better.
Another clue.
This is wonkier than mine.
I know because I put it there. Just play along with me. Why don't you look around with the grab cam and see if you can find another molecule?
One in space.
There's one. Over there by that island. You're
To the
hot
left,
on the
you're going the
trail.
right way.
We could
Oh,
change
well, I'll
our
get there.
reach and pull ourselves there with the grab cam.
Or don't do
There's
that.
another way to zip around scenes without changing your imp reach. It uses the move button, like the grab cam, but you'll also need to hold the secondary triangle button. Maybe it's best if I show you. See that orange cube in the distance? Hover your primary imp over it to highlight it. Now hold
Okay.
the secondary
The
triangle
orange ball?
button,
Oh no,
and then
you got
tap
it.
the primary move button, which is the grab cam button. You don't have to hold it.
Whoa! Not gonna
Whoa!
remember that.
Fast.
You have to remember that.
You see,
That seems like the most
secondary
useful
triangle
thing.
button is a
Secondary
very
triangle.
special button. You know the way that on a computer keyboard holding down shift changes what some keys do? Well,
Oh,
in
okay.
Dreams, holding down the secondary triangle button
Okay.
changes what the
So on the
other
move
buttons
controllers, that's like pressing. So that's the
Look
secondary
around
triangle
the side
button. On the normal
and see if
controllers,
you
that's
can find
L1,
the
isn't
next
it?
clue. Set
Yes.
your imp reach to one of the objects and use the grab cam to look around the island. Remember to choose your point of rotation carefully with your imp when you're using the grab cam. Once you've found the clue, you can move on to the next step.
So I need to change my reach, which is that, and then oh, never mind. I found the clue. I was gonna look around, but then I moved this cube instead. So next step.
Did you find the last clue? It was on the back of the orange cube.
Oh, I should have looked
What
around.
on earth could it mean? If I had eyes, I would wink at you right now.
Delete.
I can't see any other green trash cans around. Unless, of course, the trash can is the icon for the delete tool. I'm so devious. That must mean you need to delete the orange cube.
You've already done it.
You can delete anything
Yeah.
in edit mode
What
using
is
the
the matter with
primary
you?
triangle button.
There's a triangle button.
Just hover your primary imp
It's
over
not
the cube,
different
then press
from the controller.
primary triangle button.
Fine, just do things when the man
And it's
tells you.
gone.
Don't
These
want
tools
to.
are powerful. Delete the orange sphere next.
Whoop. There's a trap.
If you change your mind or delete the wrong thing, you can undo.
Undo.
Just tilt or twist your primary controller to the left and press its square button. And if you
What?
want to redo, just tilt or twist it to the right and press
Delete?
the primary square button.
How can I delete this? Oh, I'm
You
pressing
can
circle,
undo
that's
and
why.
redo pretty much anything, not just deletions.
So did you hear about the
Oh,
undo
look,
and
There
redo?
was a clue hidden in
No.
the cube.
That's
an
important.
arrow.
Pause the video.
What did he say?
Perhaps there's another one like it
Can I hit the
nearby.
pause button? Where's-
Look around with the grab cam and see if you can spot it. Once
Can't
you've
hit
found
pause.
it, you can move on to the next step.
I'm trying to hit pause.
All right, it's
It's
over.
too hard. It's too hard.
That was sad.
It was too hard.
That was just sad. So it's like you're going to rewind that step because that seemed like a really important step.
Oh, this is going to be a mission.
It shouldn't have to be.
I'm trying to press down a bit more. No.
It disappears. So try holding controller higher and then recenter it.
Hold it higher, recenter it. Okay, so my arms are up here. I'm going down, 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 down. And X.
There was a clue hidden in the cube.
And again.
An arrow.
Oh.
Perhaps
Okay.
there's another
That
one
looked
like
like-
it nearby. Look around with the grab cam and see
Oh,
if
no,
you
maybe.
can spot it. There was a clue. Do just tilt or twist it to the right and press the
keep going,
primary
keep going.
square button. You can undo. Just tilt or twist your primary controller to the left and press its square button. And if you want to redo, just tilt or twist it to the right and press the primary square button.
Oh, that's weird.
That's very weird. It's going to be hard to
Undo and redo
remember.
Pretty much anything.
We should be
not
writing
just
this down.
deletions.
We'll just have to rewatch the video.
Oh,
We'll rewatch our own video and then we'll make notes.
that was my
If you're watching
final
along,
clue telling you where to
Get a
go.
pen and paper.
The island right above us. I know you're an expert in moving around horizontally, but let's practice moving vertically. Look up at the island above and set your imp reach to it.
Okay,
Use the
so
grab cam. Press the move button alternately on each
Want to touch
controller
it?
and pull to climb up and see what's on
Recenter.
that island.
imp reach.
We're nearly at the end
And-
of the tutorial now. But if you want
Grab
to
it.
rewatch any steps, just use the skip buttons on the video player to go back to a previous video. Or just rewind 10 seconds if you miss something. When you've made it to the final island, you can start the next step.
I made it. Next.
Right, here's the puppet I reserved for you.
Oh,
Let's
this
call
trap.
her Connie, because she looks like a cone. We need to help Connie walk through the door to complete this tutorial. To do that,
I always find this really mean.
Yeah.
It's like,
Remember,
it's maybe he
right
has a
now,
butt face.
edit
Should we
mode.
call you butt face?
This is
Would
where
you like
you
that?
create and edit your scenes. In play mode,
Dick.
you can experience the scene just like a player would if they found it in the Dreamiverse. You can't make any changes in play mode, but you can take control of characters and try out what you've made. To switch over to play mode, open the options menu by pressing the start button on either controller. Hover over the controller icon with your primary imp, then press X to select it. To control a puppet in play mode, you first need to possess it with your primary imp. Hover over Connie, then press your primary T button. She's full of beans, isn't she? I picked her just for you. Now that you've possessed Connie, hold the secondary T button to make her walk. While she's walking,
Oh,
you
so
can
you
tilt
control the
secondary
direction
controller
and
to
stuff.
steer. You can also rotate the camera view around Connie by holding the primary move button and tilting the controller. Practice walking her around, then take her to the door. Oh, looks like the door's too high. There's more to Connie than meets the eye though. She might be able to reach it if you make her jump by pressing the primary X button.
No.
Oops. I remember now. I always forget to put the steps in.
A cone is dead.
To edit mode. To switch back to edit mode, just press start again and then select the pencil icon.
I like how flippantly he was like,
When
oops,
you're back in edit
forgot to
mode,
put the stairs in.
final step.
Mean. I'm against it. Save the cones.
Hashtag save the cones.
Did you see those stairs on the
I'm
island?
serious
below
right
us?
now, you hashtag that.
Those might come in handy
friggin'
now,
movement.
So let me show you a new move to help us retrieve them. There's a quick way to move and change your imp reach at the same time. Let's give it a try.
Listen
Move
close.
both imps apart, then hold both of the move buttons. While still holding both move buttons, move the imps together like you're closing some curtains. This maneuver will move you away from the target whilst extending your imp reach.
That's how you zoom out.
You'll notice a circle and a number while you're zooming. These show you what your imp reach is.
It's gone dark.
Keep zooming out.
Oh, no.
Circle.
Until you can see both islands, the one above and the one below.
Too far. Too far.
If you've deleted the stairs, you can undo by tilting or twisting the primary controller to the left and pressing the primary square button.
Where are the stairs?
Just keep pressing the square button until the stairs come back.
Help settle a debate. The imp we're using. Do you think it looks more like a star or more like a Pikachu? Now I know technically it looks like both, but I'm saying it's Pikachu. Sam's saying it's a star.
The stairs with your primary T button.
I think it's Pikachu, and they've tried to get around copyright.
Move the stairs roughly into position in front of the door. When they're roughly in position,
leave a comment.
let go of the T button.
Pikachu or star?
Tidy it up in a moment.
Oh, so you just gotta chuck them in that direction and then...
Now zoom in on the stairs.
Oh.
Position your imps on either side of them, then hold both move buttons.
So if you do the same thing again, and now do it like you're opening the curtain.
Yeah.
When you're zoomed in, let go
That kind of
the
feels
move
natural,
buttons
doesn't it?
And adjust the position of the stairs for
Yeah.
Connie.
Feels better than what we were doing before. I don't know what that was.
If you need
Crawl
to
thing.
recalibrate after all that zooming about, just hold either start button until the imps snap back to the center of the screen. There, that should do it.
What?
It's back to play mode now. Remember, press
Get rid of
start,
this.
then select the controller icon
Recenter.
with your primary imp.
Let's
You'll be switching back and
twist
forth
it.
between edit and play mode a lot when you're creating your own scenes.
That was much
Great
better
way to
than with
test
the
out
normal
your scenes,
controller.
making sure
You did
they
that in
will
like one
work just how you want
twist.
them to.
one concise movement, yeah, and you've got it
Okay.
pretty much
I
perfect.
think we can get Connie to the next lesson now. All we need to do is walk her through the door. Possess
Connie.
Connie with the primary T button, then hold the secondary T button to make her move.
Oh,
What are you waiting for? Get in there.
Thank you very much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. We are Ugly Surfer Gaming, and we upload new videos Monday to Friday from Dreams Early Access. If you like our content, please hit the subscribe button, like the video, leave a comment, share the video on your favourite corner of the internet. Any one of those things really helps us out. Thank you very much.